Ladies and choo-choos, I just need to make an announcement before we get to our unboxing video. You see, I have a sickness. It eats away at my skin, it gnaws at my bones, and it churns my insides. That sickness, well, it's board games. Just can't seem to stop playing them. And then I see another board game, and I'm like, I want that board game. It's an illness. It's not healthy. It's not healthy, and I'm not trying to cure it. But that's okay because it falls right into today's theme. That's right, it's Pandemic Legacy Season 2. Yeah, you see what I did there? You probably already noticed from the title that it was going to be this game anyway. Kind of look like this person. Yeah, a little bit. Maybe this person up here when I do this. Yeah. Well, let's just get right into this. Now, we've had Pandemic Legacy and we've had Pandemic on our show before, so for those of you who are fans, Legacy Season 2 is no surprise. We've been waiting on this for years, ever since Season 1 came out, and we were thinking, oh, is Season 1 going to come out the next year? No, it's not. There's the card that comes in the package that kind of just lets you know, hey, look, this is a Legacy game. It's a little bit different. Played the prologue, so a couple characters and a couple jobs have been taken off. I like the artwork, post-apocalyptic feel for those of you who don't know, and you'll definitely see that on the board as well. So we've got all these new characters. They are nameless, and we've got scars and jobs. Then we've got these numbers, and I'll tell you what these numbers are going to represent. And just in case you're wondering, this is spoiler-free, so you're not going to see anything that you wouldn't see just in playing the prologue of the game. And for this, the prologue is simply a very simple way of playing the game to kind of teach you how Pandemic Legacy is different from regular Pandemic. We've got our dossiers, A's and 1, 2, 3s. I think, I haven't looked into this very carefully, but it looks like they didn't make the same mistake as before, where they had the same numbers on the boxes as they did on the dossiers, and so you were like, oh, do I open box 1 or dossier 1? So, and look at these big squares right here, and this big long one right here. I'm going to show you what those are probably filled with here in a minute. Got that. I love the manual. Instructions for a better life on the Havens. The Havens are a new part of Pandemic. They've never existed in any other version of Pandemic before. Got a couple of character cards that have been created here. Chandy her home is Atlantica, which is one of the Havens that we named. And then Mac Thunder, he's from the Good Ship Lollipop. What? Yeah, that's one of the other Havens that I created. All right. And then there are all the blank character cards that you're going to need. And you're going to notice, I don't know if you can see this in the video, but there's some shiny bits to it right here. This is your exposure track, and it's a scratch-off area. It's got 7 exposures, and you don't know what's under any one of these. So in creating your unique characters, you don't know which one of these you're going to choose. And so you might choose one where if you get exposed 3 times, your character dies. Or maybe another one gets all the way to number 7 and doesn't die. Your character's more resilient. So that's another great thing about these, is that they are entirely customizable. In fact, my guy right here doesn't have to be a laborer if he doesn't want to. You can choose one of the other pictures that you saw earlier. We've got our actions, which are entirely different from before. Get them right there. And then the part that you've all been waiting for, it's the game board. Let's open this up. Dun, 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 dun. Awesome, look at that. This is the game board. Flip it around. So you can see it. What does the back look like right there? What is the back? It is just black. All right. Flipping this around. Hoping not to break it. I've only ever played the epilogue. And there we are. All right. So things that are different about this game is, number one, you want cubes to be on your cities. Because these cubes, these gray cubes right here, move this over a little bit. These gray cubes represent your stockpile, your rations that your cities have. Post-apocalyptic, they need rations. So there's those. They go right there. But then you've also got these green, awesome plague cubes. Nice. You don't want those. The plague is not curable, at least not in the beginning of the game. So whenever one of these plague cubes gets placed, you've got the tracker over here, just like in the original Pandemic, but anytime a plague cube gets placed, that tracker goes down, and it's called an incident. So you've got the same kind of tracker, and when it gets all the way down to 8, your team loses. You've got objective markers right here, and then the infection rate marker, which hasn't changed from the rest of the game. It goes over here. So now you've also got the legacy deck. Warning, this is the end of the legacy deck. Please start from the other side of the deck. I like that. That's pretty funny. But I haven't opened it yet because I've yet to start playing. It's the same as Pandemic Season 1, where it starts in January, goes all the way to December. There's some, quickly show you in the rule book. There's the front of the manual again. The back gives you the end game situations, so that's a little bit different. The end game, and then it's the last page where you've got your kind of journal that you have starting in, you got even the prologue, then you got January all the way to December. And then another thing, this is not a spoiler, you've got all these blank areas where cities you'll discover are going to go, and then you've got the cities up here, right here, that have already been discovered. And I'm going to show that to you right now. Because right now, you've only got the Atlantic coastlines. You've only got the Atlantic coastlines, but then there's these white symbols here in the middle of the ocean. These are your havens. These are bastions that are protected from the epidemic, from this virus that is incurable. And what happens is these places are what are producing the cubes. Cubes can go on these different places, and the great thing is it doesn't matter how many cubes can go on one location. If you're really worried about a location, you can stockpile the heck out of Lagos with 6 cubes. But if there are no cubes on that location and it's time to infect Lagos again with the infection deck, which works very similarly, well then the virus cube goes there. In the prologue, nothing bad happens, but if one of your characters starts their turn in Lagos where there's a virus cube, then they get exposure to the disease, which is pretty interesting. Another interesting thing is that now there's not just one card of every city. There are 3 cards in the infection deck for each city. The infection decks have an area where a sticker can go later on. There's Jacksonville, New York, Jacksonville again, Washington, Cairo, London, Istanbul. But the player deck is also beefed up with multiples of the same cards. And then there is a new card, a produce supplies card, which allows you to produce extra supplies if you're on one of your havens, or if you're in a place where you have built a supply center. These can be used for research too, but in the beginning, in the prologue, these are just pretty much supply centers where you can create extra supplies. Then, of course, just like in Pandemic Legacy, the original version, there are 8 boxes in here. Oh man, here's number 2. It's pretty heavy. I hear something rattling in there. It's pretty beefy. I don't know what's in there. Can't wait to open it. Now, the way that these boxes are opened also is a little bit different too, because if you pay attention here, you'll see that if you're in Washington and you've got 3 blue cards of any type, you get to open package 1. Oh man, and it makes sure it's clear that package 1, anytime it says package, it's one of the boxes, not one of the dossiers, so that's really good. You get to open package 1, and oh man, there's no telling what's going to be in package 1 when you open it. But this is an exploration action that does not occur in the prologue. It only starts in January of your first game. So a whole lot of different changes to the game. So far, funded events are still very similar. I'm going to find in the player deck, you've also got multiples of the same city. And you've got 4, I believe, 4 of each city. And so what's happened to the rest of the world, you might ask? Well, the rest of the world has gone dark. You don't know. You have lost contact. And it's your job to go out and explore these regions and protect your havens and cities from the Hollow Men, who are just roving bands of savages. So, that is an unboxing of Pandemic Legacy Season 2. Hope you enjoyed this unboxing video, and we are definitely going to be playing this, and who knows, maybe we'll film some of the playthroughs. So if you enjoyed watching this video, like and subscribe. Be sure and check out more links at the end of this video, and thanks for watching. Catch you next time.